I bet you want to know who's on the radio. Let's talk about it. I tell you what, you won't find a tandem better than these two. Let's talk about it. You ready for this? See, you didn't just stumble upon some random show. Nah, this here is destiny. Jeffery, Renee.
It's almost showtime, people.
Let's talk about it. Live with Jeffery and Renee. Watching is the best decision you'll ever make. Saturday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Only on www.statusnetwork.net. Call or text in live 470-251-4647. Hashtag Let's Talk with Jeffery and Renee.
You know what time it is.
And here are your hosts, Jeffery and Renee.
What is going on, Facebook family? What's going on, Instagram family? It's time for Let's Talk About It Live with Jeffery and Renee. Every Saturday from 6 o'clock p.m. to 8 o'clock p.m. This is exactly how we do it. Guess who decided to come to work this weekend? Renee, welcome back. How are you?
I'm good, Jeffrey. How are you?
I'm just giving her a hard time. Renee had some things she had to take care of, and you got to do what you got to do. I ain't mad at you. All right, well, welcome back, though.
Thank you.
Good deal. How was your week?
It was great. How was yours?
It was pretty good. We about to get into some things today. We're going to get into some things today. I need y'all to understand now, first of all, before we get into the things we're going to get into, we always spotlight our historically black colleges and universities on this show every week. Now, there are a couple of things that's happened recently. First of all, the Braves won the World Series. Now, in that final game, they didn't barely beat them. Oh, they put the stomp down on them. They were hitting home runs left and right and talking to each other like, hey, we got this. They shut them out 7-0. It was no doubt. Absolutely. We gave y'all a courtesy win at home so y'all can make a little bit more money. But this game right here, the Braves fans start doing the tomahawk chop in Houston. It was crazy. Did you see that, Renee?
Yes.
I was like, they over there cutting the food. Now,
it's over.
Now, realistically now, I had to watch the whole game, the whole way through, until the last out, because you well know that Atlanta has a curse, a choke curse. I was really, really happy that they did what they did. They recently had a parade yesterday. Did you go to the parade?
I did. My son did.
From what I understand, they were driving real fast through Atlanta. But as soon as they got to Cobb County, they slowed their ass down.
That's all right.
And took their time.
Sure
This is what I heard. I don't know what the deal was. I also heard they booed the mayor of Atlanta.
And they did. It was on TV. You didn't see it?
I didn't see it.
Yes. When she got up there, it was a boo. Yes.
This is some bull. I mean, you folks have no couth. And the Braves won. They didn't win under any other mayor except for Maynard Jackson.
Why do you think they booed her?
You know what? You know what it is.
Because of Kasim.
Well, no. Because people don't like Kasim either. We could talk about his ass, but
But that's what moved the Braves up out of Atlanta. That's why they were booing her.
But she had nothing to do with that.
But she's the mayor, so they took it out on her.
No, I think they took it out on her because of the perception of her leadership.
You think so?
I do, because crime is up. Crime is up everywhere. But under her watch, she's the mayor. She gets the heat.
I honestly thought that the Braves took it personal based off of the mayor, which was Kasim at the time. Y'all go somewhere else. If you don't like it, you go somewhere else. So they moved to Marietta. So, who knows?
Kasim didn't even put up a fight, though.
No, he wanted him out. He pushed him out, so they had to show him. Guess what? Goodbye.
Well, I feel you. But one thing that happened the last time the Braves won the World Series was the headline band was the Morris Brown College Marching Wolverine Band. Now, I was in that parade. I wasn't drum major at the time. I played the cymbals, and I played the hell out of them. But for our HBCU love, we got a double whammy for you. We are celebrating the Braves World Series victory, and we are throwing it back with the Morris Brown College Marching Wolverine Band back from 93. celebrating the Braves. Go ahead and roll that clip.
No, not at all. You know, you have to think to yourself, though, what if the Braves had won? Would it have been any different? We're going to take a look now at the Morris Brown College Marching Band.
First of all, we're up from Chopper 5. Well, now we're back with the band. We'll cover it from all the angles here. You'll excuse us if for a couple of moments we don't talk. We're going to sit back and enjoy this. We hope you do the same.
Oh, why not? Yes, indeed. Look at this marching band. They are terrific. Again, this is the Morris Brown College Marching Band, 160 of them, all decked out in purple and white.
Maybe it's just the excitement of the moment, but all of a sudden it seems like the temperature has gone up about 10 degrees.
It feels
The
great.
sun has come out. It is starting to warm up. It can't get any better, can it?
Well, you know, I think it's in the air. It's just the way it's meant to be.
Did we do the damn thing or what? The Morris Brown College Marching Wolverine Band. Back in the day, honoring the Braves as they celebrated their first World Series championship. And congratulations to them for celebrating their second World Series championship on yesterday. Atlanta is, we about to blow up. It's about to be Championship City. All right, now last week, because Renee wasn't here, my symmetry was off. My scruples was off. I forgot to pay proper respect to Jovita Moore last week.
Oh, yeah.
She lost her battle with brain cancer. Now, I need you to understand, people like Monica Pearson, who used to be Monica Kaufman back in the day, she was an absolute institution on Channel 2. Absolute institution. It was a big deal when she retired. The question was, who's going to replace her? Who can do what she did? And Jovita Moore stepped in, and she absolutely created her own lane. She didn't try to do what Monica did. She did what she did, and she did it well. And so CNN, Good Morning America had a new segment on her. And I just want you to watch this because the gentleman who did the read on it, she helped him out a lot when he first was a part of CNN. So this is a clip from Good Morning America. Rest in peace to Jovita Moore. Roll that clip for me. All right, no worries. We'll get that clip coming back in just a moment. What I want everybody to understand, though, is that Jovita Moore is an absolute institution in Atlanta, and she will be sorely missed. I think we got that clip ready. We're going to go ahead and roll it.
From our ABC News family, we are remembering Jovita Moore this morning, a beloved anchor at ABC affiliate WSB in Atlanta. She passed away over the weekend at the age of 54. After battling brain cancer. She's arrived at that station in 1998, spent more than 2 decades covering the ins and outs of Atlanta. Tributes have been pouring in for Jovita over the weekend, from Martin Luther King III to Governor Kemp to Senator John also. Tyler Perry shared this on Twitter. "We know you fought with all you had. I will miss your beautiful smile and warm laughter, let alone seeing you in my living room every day." The Atlanta Falcons also shared a tribute on their Halo board, honoring her legacy She's survived by her mother, 2 children, and stepdaughter Jewel. I'm sorry. I moved to Atlanta as a CNN anchor, and she took me in, and that woman was special. I'm sorry. I didn't realize I had to do this read this morning, and but Jovita was something special.
Nothing to apologize for.
I'm sorry.
Nothing to apologize for.
That woman was special.
She was, and it was special when she would come and visit us here in the studio, and I absolutely agree with you. Her personality, so electric, dynamic, and such a beautiful smile and beautiful person.
No, I'm sorry. For a guy who went to Atlanta, a young guy, she was a queen there in Atlanta, and to take me in, I spent countless times with her, and just, she's a special lady, and that's my life. Yeah, so I'm sorry, guys. Sorry.
We got a lot.
That was pretty tough.
It really was.
Pretty tough. It was actually very, very sad. You know, several months ago, people were holding out hope that she would be able to recover, and unfortunately, that just wasn't the plan. So again, rest in peace, Jovita Moore. Job well done. Job well done. All right. Renee, what do you think about the shenanigans going on in the sports world?
Oh, it's a lot. It's a lot.
Now, you know, first of all, I'm still protesting the NFL. I still have not watched a single damn game. I haven't watched a game since they started blackballing Colin Kaepernick. And make sure you watch Colin Black and White on Netflix.
And that was a really good show.
Really good, really good. Now, of course, Ava DuVernay being attached to it, you know she was going to do her thing.
And she did.
But it gave a whole different perspective on who Colin Kaepernick is as a person, what he had to go through growing up and being adopted by a non-black family. It gave you a whole different perspective. The thing I want you to understand, though, is still some chicanery going on right now. Aaron Rodgers just admitted that he is not vaccinated. He's still playing football. Isn't the NFL mandating that everybody be vaccinated?
Yeah.
Is he not still playing football?
Well, he's on quarantine now.
He's on quarantine now?
Yes, because he caught the virus.
Wait a minute. See, I did not know that.
Oh, okay. So the shenanigans behind it was he had reported that he was vaccinated.
He lied.
He lied.
Okay.
And then he caught the virus. So now he's quarantined, and then now everybody rolling the tape back where you said, I'm immunized. What is it called? I'm immunized.
Immunized, whatever. One of them. Y'all know what we trying to say.
Right, you get it. So he said that, but they assumed that he meant he using these technologies, this technical vaccinated. But he was not vaccinated, and you got the virus.
So he said he was immunized, and he lied.
There we go, immunized.
And basically, I've not really heard a whole lot of condemnation of how he was selfish, how he jeopardized his teammates, how he's only thinking about himself. But when it came to Kyrie Irving,
yeah,
who did not contract the virus, who did not expose his teammates, it's been a whole lot of stuff said. Now look, let's keep it real now. Y'all know I got a clip for this. It ain't a long clip, but I'm just asking this question that's in this clip that we're about to play. Where are all of the black sports writers, sports commentary people, whatever, you know, I almost said the F word. But you know what I'm trying to say, where they at now. Brother Joe, roll that clip for me, please.
And so here we are once again, Kyrie doing things his way at the expense of other people.
You guys know me, I march to the beat of my own drum. I believe strongly in bodily autonomy.
You saw that, Renee. It wasn't just me, right? Okay, so notice. I mean, you guys know me. I believe in bodily autonomy. No, it's a team sport. So you took it upon yourself to expose your teammates. This is what we're talking about when
and
we say
other teammates and other people.
The referees.
Yep.
The other team.
Fans.
The fans. And when we talk about, hey, you don't have to get vaccinated and all that stuff, you know, it's your choice and all that stuff, what you tend to ignore is that your choice does have an impact on other people. So I'll go back to what I said before. You do not have to get vaccinated if you don't want to. You don't get special treatment. You don't still get to come to work if the job says you can't come to work. You don't get to go into a restaurant if the restaurant says you must be vaccinated. You can't be in public service or working at a hospital and say, I'm not getting vaccinated. Now, I understand, hey, I get the speculation. I understand, don't get it twisted. I'm a conspiracy theorist with the best of them. However, most people, well, I would wager to say 99.9% of the people who work in nursing homes are required to have certain shots. They are required because of the people they are serving in the hospital industry. It is not foreign. It's not a foreign concept to have to get immunized. We both can't say that shit. Hell, it's Saturday. We tired, but it's not a new concept to have vaccinations to be treated for this. In the military, it's not a foreign concept. Now, all of a sudden, there are some people in those fields that say, well, I don't want to get that one. And they're upset because they're having to resign, retire, not get paid, and all this other stuff. What do you think about that, Renee?
Well, you know, for those two situations are a little different. I think for Kyrie, it's personal choice.
Yep.
So, okay, the state says if you're not vaccinated, you don't play. So he's like, okay, well, I don't play. You know, and he understands that.
Right.
You know, so that's respect. If that's your personal wish. So it's one or two things that's going to have to happen for him. You either are traded off the team, whatever, you know, you lose that career because of your personal choice.
Sure.
Now, I respect his decision because he's standing firmly by what he believes in. However, Aaron, on the other hand, you're jeopardizing other people's lives. And that right there, you know the rules, just like Kyrie. You know the rules, but instead of following the rules, you lied. There should be something done by that. You deliberately lied, and you put other people's lives at risk.
Green Bay should be losing draft picks.
Absolutely.
Rodgers should be fined because the rules of the league said this is what must happen. There have been people that have been going into the NFL protocol and all this other stuff when they were exposed or when they contracted the virus. But here you go, lying. Now, if you had said this at the beginning of the season, it'd be a big old difference. You lied. I don't know how far the season is right now, but you played in every damn game.
Yeah, and Kyrie could.
Look, all I know is this. That is some bull. I need Stephen A. Smith to go completely off on Aaron Rodgers, just like you did on Kyrie Irving. I also need to hear, now, I'm not going to say anything bad about Shannon Sharp because Shannon, keep it real. He don't care who you are. He will come at you and say it and be unapologetic about it. So I got respect for a person who can articulate what he articulates. It doesn't matter if you're white or black. He gonna give you that heat if you deserve it. But it just seems that sometimes Stephen A. Smith only brings the heat against the black players. Now don't get it twisted. Stephen A. Smith, hey, I'm not necessarily not a fan. When you went on the O'Reilly Factor, I'm like, what in the hell are you doing? Hey, no worries though, you gotta get your paper. Still, come on, man. Keep it real now. Keep it real. All right, that's enough about that. You know why we're here. You know why we're here. I have to ask this question today to my good friend Renee, sitting to my right. Renee, are black women the problem?
He's been waiting for me to return to ask that question, so let's go. The problem to what?
The problem to every damn thing.
No.
Okay.
No. So the problem to what?
Okay, so problem in relationships. Are black women the problem with the state of relationships right now in our community?
Absolutely not.
Okay, she says no.
No.
What about the state of our children?
No. We contribute. Wait, hold on.
Okay.
We contribute just as much as the man contribute because women can't have children by themselves. So I agree. No, we can't. No, we don't. We birth them by ourselves, but we don't make them by ourselves. And sometimes we raise them by ourselves. So yes, that may be.
A lot of women decide that I don't want no man. I'm going to get The turkey baster. Squirt, squirt, squirt. Skeet, skeet.
Oh, and what's the percentage of that?
Okay, it's not high.
Okay,
That's
let's
true.
move
It's not
on.
high, but it does.
Let's focus on the majority.
Oh, okay. No, let's just focus on women. We talking about y'all.
That's my point. So, okay, I answered both your questions. Absolutely not.
I got another question. Okay. Are women ever satisfied? It's 3 questions. Black women. I'm just because I don't care about white women. Black women. Are black women ever satisfied? 3 questions. Notice the pause.
Because I'm trying to decide if I want to go with the whole or the small percentage of it.
Because a small percentage are satisfied.
We are.
But let's go with the majority. Hell no. You already know.
I agree.
Thank you very much. So here's the thing, folks. I want y'all to understand. There is a feeling among some women who happen to be black women that there is a lot of pressure, a lot of weight, a lot of taking for granted, a lot of lack of protection, a lot of lack of respect. All those things. There's some women who feel that in our community. I would wager to say it's probably a majority of women in our community feel at least one of those frequently. So I found this clip to kind of frame the conversation we're going to have today about the state of mind of some black women. Are black women the problem? We're going to talk about that today. So I'd like to start with this clip. This one is black women say they are struggling. And this young lady is going to articulate some of the pressures that are heaped upon black women. Go ahead and roll that clip.
Bear the burdens because we are all that we got until it becomes that we feel that we can carry everyone's burden and not take care of ourselves. And so throughout history, all we've done is take care of other people, from the neighbor's kid to the person down the street to the slave master's child to the slave master to the mistress. All black women have done throughout history is take care of other people. And our worth is in our work. Our worth is seen in our bodies. And so we are not applauded until we produce something for someone else. We're not celebrated or validated until we do something for someone else. And so we continue that. We continue that narrative in every way of life.
Now, she said a word. Renee, how do you feel about what she said?
Well, she didn't lie. I mean, where's the lie?
Okay, you're asking a question. How do you feel about what she said?
I think that what she said is very true. I mean, we as black women have always been taking care of something or somebody from the beginning of time. Like she went back as far as slavery, the house children, the slave master children, the slave master wife, the mistress, our own families, that it has been the role that black women have had for ancient time. Now, are we the problem? I think we are the actual solution, actually. Now that I think about it, I mean, we deal with so many problems, or we've had to be presented with so many things and come in. Now, I'm not saying we have the solution totally, but we've had to find solutions in any given situation, whether it's with our mate or by ourselves. So, yeah, we may have created a problem, but we also are the solution.
Okay. Excellent point.
Mm-hmm. That was me bringing that heat right there.
Yeah, whatever. Excellent point. Counterpoint. I will not deny, because it's factual, that during slavery, black women did have to take care of their own children and the slave master's children. They were also forced into roles of rape. You can call them concubines all you want. They were women who were held against their wills, and they were being raped. Okay. They did take care of their own family. Now let's get it twisted. Black men were also slaves. Black men also had to serve duties. Black men also had to take care of the slave master's child in a different way. They would have to do things like, make sure those kids didn't have to want for anything by doing a lot of the manual labor. Hey, don't get it twisted. Black women were right there performing manual labor. I understand. But black men also were held in a subservient role. I would wager to say, or I'll submit to you rather, that black women didn't have to start worrying about things by themselves until after the 1970s.
But let's go backwards one more time.
Okay, I'm ready.
All right, you said that in the slavery, what was the man doing again?
All of the manual labor, like the heavy lifting, that's what the black man was doing.
The heavy lifting.
Yes, are you kidding?
No. So black women didn't help do some of that.
Okay, I said that.
I know, so, but you see the many different roles that the black woman had to do at that moment in time?
Okay, so great point, counterpoint. For every role that the black woman had to do, there was a role the black man had to do.
No. When was he in the house helping raise the kids, combing the white,
as the house Negro. But remember, the house Negro.
That was the woman. We played that role. How many house niggas did you have?
Okay, now.
That was small of a percentage, right?
Oh, no, absolutely.
Because you was outside.
No,
unless you was fair, skinned it.
The field Negro was outside. That covered the men and the women. The house Negro tended to be a fairer skinned man who basically lived in better housing.
But that number was so small.
No, okay, that's like saying that the number of women in the house was also small because the majority of women, majority of the slaves were in the field.
I agree.
So then that negates your argument.
No, because you wasn't raising their kids though.
Okay, so what my original point was, even though we were not, the black man in the house was not raising the kids, they also had duties in the house. So every role for the house woman was a role for the house male slave.
I'm not going to agree.
Such as butler, such as making sure that
maid. Okay, next.
Thank you.
But
there's a butler, there's a maid. So thank you very much. Driving the damn horse and carriage, tending to the slave master's wife when the slave master was going on the trips. I don't give a damn. But everything that you say during slavery time, it was a black man and a black woman suffering equally.
I'll give you that.
Okay, I'm going to take it too.
I see.
So again, I will say back in the 1970s, when the women's rights movement really began to take hold, and when we were young, still the majority of the households had a mother and a father. The vast majority of the households. So black women having to do things by themselves didn't exist.
Right.
Late 70s, early 80s, more women started striking out on their own because they were able to get a bank account. They were able to do more things to make themselves self-sufficient. And there is nothing wrong with that. That also started to create more single parent households. In the 90s and in the 2000s, the majority of our households were single parent households. And now it's even worse. The majority of our households are single parent households. Here's my point. Women have chosen this path in our community. The path of independence is a deliberate choice that was made in our community. So what I will submit to you is this. This is what you have sown. You sown these seeds, and now you're reaping the rewards of what you sowed. That seed you planted, that independent seed, has germinated and brought forth a plant that you don't want. Now, you got all this suffering going on. I'm putting the blame on y'all. What you think?
I'm still not going to agree. I mean, it goes both ways, but it's not just women that are suffering. It's our children that's suffering as well.
Now, look, you get a fist bump on that, because that ain't nothing but the damn truth. That ain't nothing but the damn truth. You can look statistically all you want, and you will find the number one determining factor between keeping a young black man out of jail or him going to jail is a two-parent household. Yeah. A man being present with the wife in a healthy environment. Now, I ain't talking about an abusive man or abusive woman. I'm talking about everyday ups and downs. Everybody has those. But parents working together, working through that stuff, that is the best environment for black men, young black men, and young black women. Okay, so I'm submitting to you that black women are the problem. That's my take on it right now, and I'm going to prove my point right now. Are you ready, Renee?
I'm listening.
I'm going to prove my point right now. Here we go. Black women are never satisfied. You didn't even say, you know what? You wrong, Jeffery. You said, well.
I did. Okay. I agree.
Okay, I got videographic proof that will help to substantiate my claim that black women are never satisfied. Go ahead and roll that clip for me.
I don't want to be with
You got married?
Yeah.
You currently married?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
No. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Ma'am. Are you trolling me?
No, I'm not.
A platform with 1 million folks actively talking about leaving your husband to get back with your ex.
Because he's high value, and I felt like...
And the reason you want to break your covenant with God and wreck your home of the pipe fitter guy is because the previous guy was higher value, meaning he earns more money?
Yeah, and his social status, how he looks.
What would the world say about that man?
It would say that this woman he got back with is the one he always wanted.
She belongs to the streets.
All right, now, Renee, let's talk about this.
Now, she belongs to the street.
She belongs to the street. She got a whole husband. He's a pipe fitter. Now, pipe fitters can make a lot of money. I mean, construction is up as far as wages goes. But she wants her ex-boyfriend. Now, I ain't gonna go too deep with it, Renee. What do you think about this scenario? Because she is for the streets, but what do you think?
I think that, first of all, that it's just what the topic was. That woman, was not satisfied. Here you obviously have a decent guy, you're married, and the reasons that you want to leave your husband and go back to your ex, obviously you left your ex for a reason. But you want to go back because his social life, he looks better, and he makes more money. Now, does that mean that he's not going to cheat? Does that mean that he's not? I mean, come on. I don't get that.
He's high value.
Valued.
But here's the thing about it that really got me. Why is he your ex?
That's what I just said. Like, you obviously not together with him for some reason.
Why is he your ex? Did he come up after y'all broke up? Did you see the pipe layer? I almost said, the pipe fitter, not the pipe layer. Did you see the pipe fitter as it come up from the ex, and now the other ex done came up and you want to backslide? I'm trying to understand. You got a whole husband.
A whole one.
You took vows.
Want to break the covenant.
Made a covenant. And now you want to go back. So you mean to tell me that you think black women are satisfied? I
said that black woman was not. I'm only speaking about that one.
I'm asking in general now. I'm asking general.
The majority, I'm going to agree with you on that, and I have from the beginning, the majority of women, it ain't even just black women, are not satisfied. And sometimes that's because we don't know what we want.
You don't know what you want. When I tell you that black women are the problem, I can make a case.
Okay, make it.
Okay, here we go.
He was waiting for that.
Even black women know that black women are difficult. Now, good friend right here, she's a black woman. When I asked, are black women difficult to satisfy? She didn't say it, but she meant hell yes. But she didn't say it. She didn't say it like that. But you know what she meant. She didn't want to give me the win. But even black women know that black women are difficult to satisfy. There are some women who have platforms for empowering women. I know one, her name is Rebecca Lynn Pope. Excellent woman. I mean, just like gives sound advice. She was a matchmaker. She said, I'm not going to matchmake anymore because unfortunately my clients were unrealistic. And I got a video that shows you another person who started a matchmaking service, who has a large platform of women who also stopped. So for this clip right here, this is even black women know that black women are difficult. Go ahead and roll that clip for me. Oh, we got that one, even black women know.
Male collective delusion is running rapid. And I got my confirmation yesterday when I saw that femininity coaching April Mason matchmaking self closed her dating academy. I don't know what rock I've been under, but I thought she just opened it. And her reason why is understandable.
She said, the majority that come to me have unrealistic expectations, the selfishness, fake everything, think they should be chosen because they have a vagina and good looks, the entitlement, just mean, not knowing the difference between being a woman and a wise woman, and will fight you to be strong, not knowing how to be versus do, thinking being a feminine woman is weak or pick me, whatever it is, placing the blame and not taking responsibility or accountability for the choices they made in men, being disagreeable, defensive, argumentative about everything, always finding something to nitpick about, looking for perfection. If you mention anything about doing something kind for the man they choose, is what he's going to do for me, and the list goes on.
I'm sorry, but I agree. I agree.
What you got?
I don't have anything, because, I mean, that's true. I always think that there's sometimes women, you know, when it's coming to dating, they have unrealistic goals, you know, setting goals so high, expecting things out of the opposite sex that, one, you don't even have. You know, how are you setting those high standards in a man? Oh, he got to have this, 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 and that, but you yourself don't possess that. So, I mean, why can't he meet you here?
Okay, let's keep it a buck. Now, part of me taking this role is just for the conversation. Black women, I want you to understand that I'm in your corner. I'm right there rooting for you, protecting you as much as I can whenever I can. Don't get it twisted. This is just for the conversation. The one thing that I find to be a little concerning is how some women in our community feel like they have to do what they have to do independent of a man. In college, the perfect time to find a husband, in college. There are some women that won't have anything to do with a man because the degree is permanent. You might be temporary. That's the philosophy. The degree is permanent, you might be temporary. Forgetting the fact that, damn, if he's degreed and you're degreed, y'all can build something together. But he might be permanent or he might be temporary. The degree in your mind has more intrinsic value than a man does. That's part of the problem. Now, guys, don't get it twisted. If you got enough to offer, as far as in college now, as far as vision, as far as the basic necessities to be a successful student, and a reasonable ability to take care of your damn self, I would submit that that woman will probably look twice. It's on that second look where you got to make a good impression. If you're not giving her something to at least make a double look at, that's on you. That ain't on her for having drive. That's on you for not having enough drive for her to see a compliment. So I'm not one of the guys that's just gonna bash women. That's not my style. I'm gonna bash both of y'all asses, men and women. And so I just wanted to spotlight in the time that we talked about this, that ladies, sometimes y'all just be off y'all damn rockers. I mean, just absolutely delusional. And men, there are times when we just don't do enough, where we haven't matched the energy, not even a quarter of the energy. Now, Renee, I want to ask you this question. When you were in college back in the day, back in 1940, 40 something, when was that? What was dating like when you were in college? Let's talk about that.
I mean, it was, well, you want to know the truth.
Oh, yes, I want to know the truth. We talked the truth.
You know, you dated. You didn't have no one specific boyfriend. You dated, you know, you dated.
That's what you're supposed to do. You're finding yourself.
Right.
You're making your own way. No problem with that at all. You know what happens with some people outside of our community when they get in college? They're looking for a husband.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes.
I mean, there are some women, when they're in college, yes, they want their degree. They're looking for a husband.
And in a certain degreed area. I need him to be a doctor. He need to be going in pre-law. Yeah.
Do you see why the perfect time to find a mate is college? Because you get to look at the plan they are building.
Right.
You get to see it in its infancy. If they're pre-med, and then you see that they're like, oh, yeah, I can't do it, it's too hard. You got somebody right there that may not have the fire that you're looking for.
Or the drive.
Okay. Or the drive. Very good. So college is the perfect place to find a good man. I love sharing this story. A friend of mine, Lorenzo Moore and Mia Moore, when they met, they were in college at Morris Brown. They got married while they were in college. They're still married today. The thing that Mia told me is that Lorenzo was very, very consistent in the beginning, and he's very, very consistent right now. He's still doing some of the same stuff to make sure she's taken care of that he did back then. He came on the show a long time ago. They came on the show, rather. And this is what he said. I said, Lorenzo, what do you do to make sure that you're taking care of a woman? He said, man, you got to keep her fed. She can't want nothing. Got to keep money in the pocket. Got to keep gas in the car. You got to make sure the trash is taken out. He went down the damn list. You know what Mia said? He right. He was right. And he met her needs then, and he's still doing it right now. Still married. I believe it's over 30 years now. So, men, if you're not able to do something like that, you can't blame the woman. That's on you. All right, so I want to go back to something, Renee. You said this. Keep me honest now. I'm paraphrasing what I remember you saying. Memory get foggy. When it comes to the children, you said that the women will do it by themselves, and they make it happen when they have to make it happen. I would submit to you that right now women ain't making it happen.
And why do you say that?
Look at our young men's incarceration rates, graduation rates.
So that's women's fault.
I'm saying that if the majority of our households are head by women.
But that's not necessarily true. Well, even if it is, let's say this. So if the majority of our households are led by women, because you're absolutely right. Okay. So the absence of a man, I know sometimes women say, or men say too, and it's true, a woman can't necessarily raise a man.
True.
Now, we can instill, the foundation, right? But once a boy gets a certain age, he needs, I don't care if it's an uncle, a father, a grandfather, he needs a male in his life. Because a woman can't relate to when a man getting ready to go through puberty, what's that's like, and growing up, so we only can do so much in that household.
Agreed.
And raising that child.
Okay.
Now, we do a great job, or then again, so I'm going to say, when you say the prison rates, that is a combination of a failed household, not mother, a failed household.
So who's leading the household?
No, because it don't have to be that. Because you can have women that have and a husband in a household, and they raise all kids the same way, and you got one that go to prison and keep going to prison. So that don't have anything to do with the way that they're raised in the household. A failed household is you got an absent father for whatever reason, because it ain't always the father's fault that he's missing. And then you got a failed mother, one that I got to work to pay these bills, and that child is raising themselves.
Okay, I will not disagree with that. Excellent point. Counterpoint. You know it was coming. Counterpoint. If you are the adult in the house, whether you are the man or the woman, the buck stops with you.
Of course.
And so if, in fact, women make a way, and I'm paraphrasing because I can't articulate it exactly how you said it, but if women make it happen, then that would mean our communities would be in better place, better shape. I would submit to you that women ain't making it happen.
Let me just say this. Women do make it happen.
Okay.
But I will say it's not their responsibility to make it happen alone. Don't he make y'all sick with all this?
Okay, I'll take what you're saying at face value. It's not her responsibility.
No,
to
no,
make it happen on her own.
alone. I mean, but
if she's single though,
then you got to do what you got to do.
So then it's her responsibility.
Well, no, because just because you're not okay. It's two parents to every child, right?
Right.
And just because the one parent is absent, that don't negate his responsibility.
Okay, his absence negates his responsibility.
So that means that he chose that, but you still have an obligation. Just because you're a deadbeat, and it can be the vice versa. There's a lot of deadbeat women out there. Men are raising kids.
Sure.
So whoever is missing out of the household just neglected their responsibility and it's falling on the one parent.
Understood. Now, I understand exactly what you're saying. Here's what I would say as a rebuttal. That's hoping and wishing. When you say ultimately the absent parent still has some responsibility, in the best case scenario, you're absolutely right. However, if you get dealt a bad hand in spades or poker, based on how you play the cards that you have, you can still win
Absolutely.
that hand. Okay, so that being the case, if you're spending energy worried about somebody who ain't there, who hadn't been there, you're wasting energy that should be directed on what you need to do with what you got and play the hell out of the hand. Now, I'll submit to you that in many instances, a mother could be enough if she does everything she can to help build a young boy up, exposing him to as much stuff as he can, much positive masculine energy as she can. The mother can be enough if she has that attitude. At the same time, if she's still worried about the guy who hadn't shown up in 10 years and still saying he got some responsibility, I'm just going to say she's not playing her hand the right way.
So I'm not saying that. I'm saying more like, I hear what you're saying. I'm saying more as if, I'm speaking for the child, not the mother. I'm speaking on the child. So if you you have a child and that child is, you forget about your child, he's still your responsibility, whether you out of sight, out of mind or not. So yeah, the woman gonna step up and play your role and her role, or whoever the as they call it, custodial parent is, has to step up and play the role of both parents, right? For the child's sake, because you want the best for your child. However, that one parent may not be enough to prevent, it's chances that they are and they're not, because a child can get caught up, and no matter how great you raise them, right? They can get caught up with bad, no matter what the mother exposed them to, the masculine, I don't do, that's just some kids. But that's not the mother failed. I don't agree with that. That's not, she failed because she raised them by herself. You just have badass kids.
Okay. Prince said back in the day, no child is bad from the beginning. They only emulate the atmosphere. So
now we're doing psychology.
Hey, Prince is Prince. Hey, now wait a minute now. Hold on a second. You ain't gonna be talking bad about no Prince now.
I said you talking psychology.
But the deal, it's Prince now. We ain't gonna do it about Prince now.
Okay, Jeffrey gonna need to put his little.
That's not Bernie Mac right there.
That was not Bernie Mac.
It was Bernie Mac. Okay, anyway. But look, I completely understand what you're saying. Whether you are present or not, you never are absolved from the responsibility of a child who did not ask to be here that you helped to create. I completely concede that point. All that I'm saying is that if that man has showed you that he is a bum, he is a deadbeat, he is a miscreant, and he hadn't contributed a dime or an emotional minute to that child's welfare, at some point, you got to let it go. I mean, and when I say you got to let it go, you have to let it go and focus on building what you can build, and also focus on making sure that child is as whole as you can possibly help them grow into. I mean, it just is what it is.
That's all right.
All right. Great discussion. But don't think I ain't got one last thing for you. Suspension of disbelief here. Let's say you were not married.
Okay.
Would you date a man with children?
Okay. So, if I had children, I would be a hypocrite to say I'm not dating a man with children, right? Because I got children. However, if I had no children, absolutely not.
So if you were no children and you decided I don't want children, and because there's some men and some women who decide I don't want kids.
That's right.
they also say that I don't want to date a man or I don't want to date a woman with kids.
And that's their right.
Okay.
Because I would feel the same way.
All right, let's keep it a buck.
All righty.
Ladies, y'all be on some bull when we express our preferences. If we say we want you to be in shape, you should accept us just how we are. Am I lying?
I don't know, because that ain't me. I believe you got to stay in shape.
That women, if a man says that he wants a woman who is fairer skinned, what's wrong with the dark skinned sisters? Who hurt you? Come on now, you know you've seen this now.
Yes,
okay.
You're right. Yes.
A man says, I don't want to date a woman with children. There is nothing wrong with a woman with children. You should be honored that she trusts you around her child. She sees something in you that is a redeeming quality. You should support women, all women, because a woman who has a child or a woman who doesn't have a child is equal. Tommy Sotomayor had a video clip about men getting judged for their preferences. And he's not lying. We can't like what we like. Oh, but y'all can like what y'all like. I want y'all to watch this clip. We're not going to play the whole clip because you know Tommy Sotomayor is long-winded. His ass just talk forever. God damn. Get to the point. Be pithy about it. But he makes a really good argument about how men are judged harshly when we express a preference versus how women expect their preferences to be met and respected. Go ahead and roll that clip for me.
My penis, I would stick that joke in a blender every day, put it on puree. So why would I look at a woman and get mad that this woman says, I don't want a dude that's been through what you've been through? She has the right to say that. Why would I think I'm going to take a personal affront to anyone who randomly posts, don't date men under 6 feet? Why would I go to that person's post and be upset? There were black women and every one of them had kids. Every one of them said that my comment was out of line, shallow, stupid. Some of them said I was gay. I have no idea what is gay anymore in the black community because it simply seems like you just don't agree with the person. But dating a woman with kids presents several problems. Let me explain. How many of you guys have dated a woman with kids and realized you cannot go out with that woman whenever you want to go out because she needs a babysitter? How many of you guys have been able to go out with a woman anytime you damn want and she got kids? Because she don't care about a babysitter. She'll even leave them kids at home while she go out to get her hair done and burn the house down and kill the kids. I don't say no names, but it has happened. If you are a mother and I can get a hold of you at any time and see you at any time, that's a problem. If you are a mother and I can't get a hold of you and see you anytime, that also is a problem. I don't want to raise another man's seed. Black men are the only men on the planet who are typically always raising somebody else's kid. Think about the Lion Kingdom. In the Lion Kingdom, if a lion comes into a pride and he sees that, well, the lioness has little cubs.
Okay, I'm going to finish that story for you. Of course, in the Lion Kingdom, if a lion comes and he takes over the pride, he kills the young cubs because he knows that they could grow up and be a rival, and he don't want that problem, so he kills them. All right. Ain't nobody saying to do that, Craig. That's not what we're saying. We're not saying you do anything like that, so that's why I wanted to cut it off at that clip. I understand where he was going with it. I think he's reaching on that example. So, Renee, let's talk about what he said now. What do you think about the way that he put it together?
I think he was just being, a man that knows what he wants and what he doesn't want. He's letting it be known up front. I don't want to date anyone that have kids because here's the reasons. Which he's right. If you date a one, and all of that is relevant. If I'm dating you and I can reach you all the time and you got kids, that's a problem because that means you're not tending to your kids. So that tells me what kind of mother you are. If I'm dating you and I can't reach you all the time, that's a problem because I don't know what you had and what you got going on, So all of that creates problems. So to avoid all that, I don't want to date nobody with kids. Let's respect it. Plus, you might have baby daddy drama, just too much drama that people just don't want to deal with it. I wouldn't do it if I didn't have kids. I would not date anyone with kids.
Fair enough. Now, understanding exactly the perspective that he's coming from. I have had women, when I was dating back in the day, when my kids were younger, they said, I don't want to date a man with small kids. I'm like, what you mean small kids? Well, your kids are 7 and 5. I'm like, they're not small though. They're they walk and talk and they tell me what they want to eat. You know, it is what it is. It's like, no, don't want to do it. I said, all right, you know what? Bump you then. Then, as they got a little older, well, I don't want to date a man with older kids because we have a child. I want them to be closer in age. I'm like, well, damn, ladies, what do you want? You know, it was always something around the kids. Mm-hmm. Then I met one young, man, look, this lady right now, we supposed to be married right now. When I tell you that lady was, oh my God, whew. Me and her supposed to be married right now. I'm supposed to have some more kids with this lady. She told me, and I'm not being flippant, I'm just saying what she told me. She said, I believe that the man that God has for me doesn't have any children. I said, wow. So what if you have to wait a long, long time to have children, like the biblical couple did, that, you know, that took a long time? Are you going to hold out that long? She said, I don't believe God has that for me. I said, well, how do you know what God has for you? Mm-hmm. I could have been God's gift to you. Mm-hmm. But you lead it to your own understanding. Right. When I hit her with that, she thought I was being funny. Because, you know, paraphrasing the Bible. I'm like, no, I'm just being real with you. You're so dogmatic in what you believe God has for you that you might be ignoring what God sent for you. Right. We supposed to be married right now. She's supposed to be watching the show, laughing over this story. But because I had kids, I felt discriminated against. So what I'll tell you is this. Everybody has the right to make their own choice. What I'm about to say, I mean it sincerely to men. If you know in our communities that our community is under attack, if you know in our communities that since the crack epidemic hit, more men were taken from our households, if you know that, and you are as woke as you say you are, you would not be intimidated at the thought of dating a woman who's responsible with her children. Because you would know that she's not going to have no foolishness around her children. So, for some reason, in our communities, nobody wants to sacrifice nothing. Nobody wants to go the extra mile for the community. We're all about self. Women don't want to do this, men don't want to do that, and we're arguing in this damn barrel we're in. We keep forgetting who put us in the barrel. At some point, we are going to have to do things different. It's going to take some sacrifice. It's going to take some pooling some resources. It's going to take some humility and some honesty for us to get our act together. Because when we do, man, it is magnificent. It's magnificent. If one man can buy 40 acres in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and build a strip that is so wealthy that white folks get intimidated by it, that they got to come and take it, and then refuse all these years later, all these decades later, refuse to give it back or properly compensate people for the damage they wrought. That lets you know just how powerful we are when we move together. And fellas, sometimes moving together means that you're moving with somebody that might not have looked like your dream woman, meaning she already has a child or two. That don't make her a bad woman. It just means that you have to do something different. All right. Let me ask this question. Brother Joe, has our guest joined us yet? No, sir. All right. We're going to have a really, really powerful interview coming up soon with a young lady named Monique Player. Now, she is a domestic violence survivor, and she has created a line of perfume. She is also an author, just a really, really, really powerful person. And I'm looking forward to having this conversation coming up in just a moment. But before we get to that, Renee, you know I got some more smoke for you. You been gone. This is 2 weeks worth of smoke.
Bring it on, Jeffrey. Bring it on.
Thank you, Kim. All right, so when we talk about the way things tend to happen in Hollywood, you will have things like a lighter-skinned character being cast to play a person who was darker skinned, as an example. And no disrespect, but when they made the movie about Nina Simone, the young lady who they cast as the lead was light-skinned, Zoe Saldana. Now, don't get it twisted, amazing actress, all the talent in the world. The backlash from that, though, it was absolutely visceral. I think it went straight to video. I don't think there was a major release. I don't think there was an opening night celebration. I think it went straight to video. Here's the thing I want to bring up. There's a new movie on Netflix called The Harder They Fall. It is really good. Shotgun Mary was a dark-skinned woman. She's portrayed by a lighter-skinned woman. Here is my question. What responsibility do black writers and producers and directors have to accurately portray people from our community in movies? What do you think?
I think that if I give you an idea, like when they did the Harriet Tubman movie, you know, the person that played Harriet was same, you know, complexion as Harriet Tubman. I don't think that we need to try and make the person prettier, more fair-skinned, any of that. If this was a dark-skinned woman, let a dark-skinned woman play her, because you want someone that's as realistic to their character as that character is. I mean, I don't understand why we would go outside looking for a fair-skinned woman if the woman is dark-skinned. That automatically feels some kind of way, you know. How can you relate to that? You're changing the person because you're making an image of that person that it doesn't exist for Hollywood.
I do not disagree. Now, I had a conversation about this with a good friend today, and we were talking about how, you know, there was this movie about the plane that was forced down by the passengers during the 9/11 attack. And one of the main people who stormed the cockpit was a black man. And do you know, in the movie, they portrayed him as a white man. Like, you know, you can't show a black man being heroic. Insecure. Issa Rae was told, hey, if you want to blow up, you got to have some white people in it, so white people care about your sitcom. And she had the subplot with We Got Us, and the white people were there, and she blew up. White people were involved. And then she said in season 3, you know what, we ain't adding white people no more. We tell our own story. It's all about us.
Right.
All about us. And notice she got rid of We Got Y'all. And all of the stories became focused on those black women and their interactions with their families. I believe that is the way that we need to go. Notice now on Insecure, they got the whole range of black women. Light skin, brown skin, dark skin, little bigger, little smaller, successful, not as successful. They basically got the whole spectrum represented. Married, unmarried, having difficulties dating, the whole. That's what we're talking about.
Reality.
Reality. If we're going to tell our stories, damn it, let's tell our stories. We ain't got to clean it up for the whites. We ain't got to appeal to the whites. We got money. We spend our money. It is what it is. All right, I believe we're going to have our guest joining us in just a moment. Give us 1 second while we pull Monique into the conversation. All right. While we're pulling Monique up, let me give you a little bit of background on her. We got her connected? Turn the video on? All right. Now, she's coming up in just a moment. I want you to understand that I have the pleasure of meeting many, many different people on the show. Hey, Monique, how are you?
Tell her to turn her camera sideways.
Will you turn your camera sideways for us?
She can't hear us.
She can't hear us.
Say it one more time.
Will you turn your camera sideways for us? So we have the full screen view instead of the portrait view?
We can't. She don't have no microphone or something? What's she doing?
No. Got a microphone? We can't hear you? We can't hear
us
her
either.
Neither one of us
can't
hear
hear
each other.
you. We can't hear you either. Jeffrey up toes like,
Try to come back out and come back in.
Turn your mic.
Tell her to call the phone if push come to shove. Tell her to call the number.
All right. Can you hear us, Monique, at all?
No, she said she can't hear us.
She can't hear us at all, Joe.
I'm saying tell her to call the phone.
Text her, Jeffrey. And tell her we can't hear or her.
I'm going to send a text message really quickly, and we will have her on audio.
I'm trying to see, is she on mute on hers? Zoom?
No, it's not mute. It won't even pop up for her.
Yeah, I don't see it.
See, it usually pop up right there, just the video.
Yeah.
All right, we apologize for the delay. 470-251. All right, what we're going to do, we'll have her dial into the phone, and then we'll conduct the interview that way. The good thing about it is she has an amazing story, and part of her story is how she got to the point of creating this this perfume. Also, her writing and things of that nature. So we're looking forward to having this conversation with Monique Player very soon. Looking forward to have her calling in. Let me ask you this question while we're waiting for her. What do you think about the overall attitude when it comes to actors from a different country playing roles of American historical figures, like Cynthia Erivo from Harriet Tubman? She's British.
Yeah, I've noticed a lot of British actors now are playing in American roles. Yeah, and I don't care. Me personally, I don't care because let's just say now, if you look at actors today, if you look at the women and the men, for the actors that we grew up watching, they're older and they're not even on shows anymore. Think about it, like Denzel is done.
He's not done.
When do you see him in a movie?
He just had a movie come out it was a Shakespeare movie.
So the only two black actors that I can think of off the top of my head that's still probably relevant would be Will and maybe Denzel. See what I'm talking about? What he played in? Come on, what he played in lately?
Ray.
Okay, thank you.
How
long was Ray?
He coming up in Spider-Man next month.
He said his own mama.
I understand the point, but we still have Terrence Howard. He hadn't done a lot, but we still got him.
And he needs to stick where he's at, you know.
We got Forrest Whitaker.
Ice Cube.
We're not going to say Ice Cube.
We ain't going to say none of them.
We have Giancarlo Esposito.
Now let's move past them and go into black women.
Okay.
Because we used to have, Gabrielle.
We still got her.
No, Gabrielle, they killed her after being Mary Jane. Because remember, she had that lawsuit with BET. What show you seen her?
We got Taraji P. Henson. She's still around. We got Sanaa Lathan. She's still doing a lot.
Okay, wait, what is Sanaa doing?
Living in my house.
Okay.
Waiting on me to get home. I'm coming, baby.
I'm saying. I mean, what I'm saying is that, like when we were growing up, you saw Nia Peoples, or you saw these Lorenz Tate. You saw them all the time in movies. There was always a movie coming out, always in cinema.
Regina King. She's out. She's at the movie right now.
Netflix, and she's at Netflix now. But what's
buku money though?
But what was the in between? Like before, you seen. I mean, we grew. You saw her on TV. She was on there. She was on TV every day when you was growing up, though, right?
No, she was in my bedroom.
No, she was on 227 every day.
She was in my bedroom.
Okay, which one, Sanaa or Regina?
All right. Well, Regina too.
Oh, both of them are.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, dang. Okay. Wow.
All right. Let's see what we got. All right. Are you there, Monique? Yeah, we're still having audio problems for some reason. We can see you, but we cannot hear you.
She can't hear us either. Can she call the phone?
Oh, wait. She said,
all right. We hope to have her join us on the phone very soon. 470-251-4647.
Wait, I thought I heard something, but I
thought I heard something too.
There you go.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yes.
Can you hear us? Can you hear us? We can hear you. We can hear you. Can you hear us?
She can't hear us, obviously.
Ask her to put her phone on speakerphone.
Yeah, try that.
Hopefully that'll work.
It seems like she got her Bluetooth in her ear because I saw her adjusting, and sometimes those AirPods don't work.
Yeah. Now she just put herself on mute. Okay, so back to the conversation. You said you don't know right now. You're saying that our black activists. This is her.
Speaker.
Hey Monique, how are you?
Oh my goodness. I love modern technology when it works, but when it doesn't, it doesn't.
It really doesn't. It really doesn't. Welcome to Let's Talk About It Live with Jeffery and Renee. Good to talk to you.
Thank you both. Thank you for your patience.
We apologize for the technical snafu there, but we're really excited about talking to you.
Oh, good. I'm excited to be heard.
Wonderful, wonderful. Let's do this. Let's go ahead and jump right into the conversation. Tell us a little bit about you and your background.
Okay, so my background, I was a military wife, and myself, I'm a Navy brat, and I always wanted to follow my hero. My dad is my hero. So I thought, that I would go out of high school right into that. But instead, I got married and became a mother of two, and before I knew it, I was a victim of domestic violence, scared to death, didn't know what to do, had no real coping skills because of what I've seen growing up. All I saw was on my mother's side was a lot of domestic abuse, and they weren't ever doing anything about it. So I'm thinking maybe that's the norm, but somewhere along the way, I thought to myself, something has to change here. I have to break the cycle, because if I didn't, then who would? So there I was in the middle of living in Italy, in the mountains, away from everyone, and I remember having a conversation with my grandmother, and I said, Mama, if I get all the way over there, who's going to protect me? And I'll leave everything just to, have my life. So she said, you do what you got to do. You come home. So I left, and then I did join the Navy like I intended to, and I got involved with somebody else that led me to believe that he was going to be, the father figure to my sons, and we were going to live this nice, really happy, life, only to turn out that he only wanted me to make sure that his livelihood was maintained, and the next thing I know, me and my children were homeless. And everyone says, how in the world did you wind up homeless when you were in the military? Well, I was still going through reserve, so it wasn't like I was active duty the whole time when I was involved with this gentleman. And when I started working for the airline, that was my saving grace, because I didn't have to worry about my children being displaced with me, so I took them to a relative's house in South Carolina. So I would fly back and forth my days off to check on my children and to make sure that she was okay. And she told me, not to worry, just to focus on getting me straight. So I stumbled across this thing called a women's center. And while I was there was a lady that helped me, get all of my documents together and get my housing and all those things. And because I was employed, it didn't take me long, to save the money. And one of the gentlemen that let me stay in a hotel, I stayed in a hotel for a month, he only charged me $10. And he told me, because you've always been so accommodating, whenever someone gets stranded at the airport, this is my way of paying you back for looking out for everyone else. Oh, wow. And I just cried, because I was like, I'm thinking he wants something from me. And he said, all I want is for you to be okay. And that allowed me to gather my bearings and get that whole survival thing that I knew that I had in me and move forward. I didn't even tell my dad. I didn't tell anyone else in my family, the position I was in, because I didn't know if there was more of shame or that I just wanted to do it on my own without having anybody hold something over my head, that they did something to help me. So I finally, I got everything straightened out, and I went back and got my kids, and life just progressed on, and, you know, both my boys, now they're 35 and 36, they're both married with their own children, and, you know, we just broke the cycle, and I used to have those real candid conversations with them and let them know, you know, what you saw happen to me, I don't want you to fall into that when you get married and you have children, because my mother was abusive, and she didn't know how to mother me. I had to break the cycle. I didn't want my children to know what that felt like, to be void of a mother's love. So they had real good direction. Even now they tell me, we learned from the best. We watched you. Right. You didn't always just tell us stuff. You know, you were just doing it. And when I was going through that transition, to get back to the lady that helped me, the Women's Center, I was so grateful, and I was like, okay, this is nice that someone's going to make sure that there's somebody that helps people do their resume building and things like that, and even give ladies clothes that don't have anything. And I always thought, it would be so nice if I'm in a position where I can facilitate these kind of services to someone when it's, you know, if I'm on the other side of the table.
Right.
And now that I'm in that position, I can do that in my mind, because my mind is always racing. I'm like, well, what else can I do that will let somebody know how special they are? And even though they have on this nice dress, they deserve to smell as beautiful as they are. And that's how I birthed the perfume.
I love it. I love it. Now, before we get too deep into the perfume, because you know we got to talk about the perfume now. Let me ask you this question. You mentioned that the man was paying you back because of how accommodating you were to people, and you said that you couldn't believe, or that it was difficult for you to accept it without believing that he wanted something for his kindness. And I'm paraphrasing what you said. Can you kind of talk to that a little bit more, what it took for you to get beyond that feeling that he wants something to be able to receive the grace that you put out finally coming back to you?
Just him being as genuine and open as he was, because we used to always have, you know, nice, cordial conversations in passing, you know, him coming back and forth to drop off passengers and things like that. So just allowing myself to trust his word and, you know, having those conversations with God, too, saying, you know, if there's something that he wants other than that, please let me know so you can remove me from this and I can go someplace where I know I'm safe. And lo and behold, when I came to the hotel, he was speaking to a gentleman that was at the front desk, and he said, this is Miss Player. I want you to put her up on the high level. I don't want her to want for anything. And whatever you charge on this, every night that she's here, she's going to be here as long as she needs to be. I don't want to see any more than $10 on her bill. And that was for a whole week, for a whole month.
Wow. Wow. That is absolutely amazing. Now, Monique, you know it's getting close, or the holidays are right upon us, and that can be a very stressful time, especially when, with the pandemic and how people saw a rise in domestic violence cases and things like that. You know, what can victims of domestic violence do to leave the situation that they're in, especially when it's really, really difficult and they're suffering through domestic violence?
The thing that I would highly recommend is talk to somebody. Find somebody you trust. Plan your exit. Make sure you're strategic in it. Especially if you know this person can erupt at any given moment, you want to make sure that you're doing everything to keep yourself safe. Call the police. Make sure that the local authorities know what your situation is. And just make sure that you have a village of people, or even that one person. If that one person has to be your village, count on that person to bring you out of that situation, because, like you said, the holidays just intensifies things to the next degree. As a matter of fact, there's a young lady that's running for her life, literally, from Charlotte, North Carolina. I talked to her last night. She's the ex-girlfriend of one of my sons, and they met each other in high school. She's a mother of 3 now, and she's literally running for her life. And I told her, why wouldn't you call me? I need you to come here because I need to make sure that you're okay. So because of that is why it's so imperative that we continue to give voice to the voiceless, because she felt like no one cared about her. She was adopted, and the lady that adopted her told her, well, you were a package deal. I didn't really want you, but I really wanted your sister. So she gravitates to me. She's always looked at me as her mother figure. And I said, how dare you not let me know that this is going on? I would be heartbroken if something happened to you and you didn't tell me. So please come. So they're on the road now, on the way to my house.
Understood. Thank you so much for that. Now let me ask you about the perfumes. Now what inspired you to develop the perfumes, and when will we see them available on the market for purchase?
Oh, what inspired me? Again, I'll go back to, everyone getting prepared for their new journey and the new clothes for the resume presentation and going for that nice interview. So again, we're looking pretty, and I just had this thing where, if I'm feeling girly, I'm looking girly, I don't smell girly. I smell beautiful. I know you see the beauty on the outside, and I want that same thing to exude on my outer. I want to smell as beautiful as I think that I am, or the next woman that she believes that she is. It's just one of those things that keeps on building in the layers of her confidence, her self-esteem, so she'll feel, valued and feel just so beautiful.
Understood. Wonderful, wonderful. One other question now. We understand that you are an author, and we want you to tell us about the novel that you've written.
That was written when I was in the Middle East, and writing is very therapeutic for me. So what I did was I created my main character with a female. Her name was Layla, and I based her off my stories and five other women that worked with me in the Middle East.
Okay.
My main character, the male, his name was Connor, and he was made of 5 different men to make this one person. So it's a fictional page turner, and again, it was so therapeutic for me to, get all these stories of these women, these things that happen, and these men, and just blend them together to make these two dynamic characters. It's something else. It's adults only, definitely, but interesting, very interesting.
Okay. Now, where can people actually go to purchase the book, and how can they follow you on social media?
Well, the book is on Amazon. It's called Where I Want to Be, Miss Player, and it has a purple cover with a suitcase on the front of it. As far as how to find me, right now my PR team, which is consisting of Miss Olivia, that set this up for us, you can contact her directly because we're still working with my web developer, and we're getting that taken care of as far as the website is concerned, the social media platforms, and also we're trying to roll out our first. We have 3 different scents. The first scent is Be You Light. Be You means beautiful unapologetically. So we're giving women permission to take back their power and knowing that they are beautiful and restoring themselves to be in that position. So Be You Light is one version that comes out by spring of next year. And then we have Be You Freely. Be yourself, your authentic self, freely as you can be. And then we have Be You Night. Night is for that sophisticated smell that you want to go for your black tie, your nice dinners and things like that. So each scent has a distinctive scent or meaning behind the scent. So there definitely is a mission behind the scent, is how I like to say it. So when someone is purchasing, for every purchase that they make towards this worthy cause, we're donating 10% of all our sales back to the Safe House.
Now tell us about the Safe House. This is the Safe House LLC. Tell us about it.
Yes. Well, Safe House LLC, I modeled after my experience and knowing that we are in a situation where we need a lot of safe houses for women escaping those situations. So when you have a place where they can go and they know they're safe, and it's in a already established neighborhood and no one even knows that you're there, just so you can rebuild and make sure that you and your children, or if it's just you, make sure you're in a safe place. So a safe place, again, is the way we'll have it set up is they call the local authorities. The police officer or someone in uniform will bring you to the safe house. You can't tell anyone where you are, especially your abuser. Right. We will make sure your cell phones are collected at the door because, again, we don't want to disclose the location, not just for your safety, but for the staff, when we have one. Right. So that's where we're trying to make sure that we get some funding and all that kind of good stuff to get, to purchase our first home in the meantime. So the sales are going to go towards continuing, filtering through for the worthy cause to make sure we have a place. And even if I don't have my own safe house to start out with, at least I'll be in a position where I can still be able to contribute to other safe houses that are in existence. So along with the perfume, we have plans to have additional scents come out. We have plans for bath salts, body butters, accessories, and then once a year I'm going to have this event where I have other vendors that have maybe jewelry and can give free makeup, free makeovers, or cosmetics, and I name that purses, proms, pumps, and perfumes, because there's a lot of young ladies that are going to the proms or going to their first formal dance or something like that, and they don't have their attire. Whereas we have this community, again, this community of women helping and building women, we can make sure she goes to that prom. We can make sure that everyone has what they need, all the tools, just like they're going shopping for a day, or on us.
Understood. Well said. Renee, any questions? I have one more question for you, ma'am, and it's focused on the abuser. What can be done to help reform, or what steps can be done to help the abuser recognize what they're doing and to stop? What advice would you give for people, let's say me, I know that one of my friends is an abuser. What advice would you give to me to help stop him from mistreating his family?
I really wish I had an answer for that, because even when I went to counseling with my abuser, and it was directed that he goes through his commanding officer in the military. Even when we went through that and we graduated, he got his certificate of completion, he was still abusive the day he finished.
Oh, wow.
So I don't know what it takes for them to understand that, especially with a man. I used to always say to my sons, just remember, you are 10 times the strength of a woman. I don't care how tall she is or how much bigger she thinks she is, or, anything more than you. You're a man. Your makeup is completely different. So you're going to be in a position always, to hurt her, because that's just the way you're built. And again, I used to have those conversations so that we wouldn't have to visit them as they got older, or someone ever came and said, Janelle hit me or Gerard hit me. That was never even on the table.
Right.
But as far as other abusers that are in that, I wish I knew an answer to make them stop, other than if you really care, and if you care enough about your own mother, and how would you feel if someone did this to your sister or any woman in your family that you love? But I really don't understand it, because, one of my relatives, she was married to a man and lived right next door to us. And she was a sister of my mother. And none of the sisters went to intervene to stop her sister being abused, or even tell her husband not to do it. That baffles me. I can't even get in the mindset of an abuser to make what makes them tick and do that.
No, understood. And it was a difficult question, and I just wanted to ask to see if you could share any insights, because we do need the support system to help women who are in these difficult situations get out of these situations. At the same time, we have to stop, we as men, we have to do our part to stop it from occurring. Because if we can be proactive and stop it, and the man gets better, he gets the healing from the trauma he needs, and he becomes a better man, potentially that could help the
right.
family. But you know, I'm not advocating. I'm not advocating for any person to stay in an abusive situation. That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is that if we can reach the men to get them to stop being abusers, then that would help the situation as well. Now, I just want to recap the perfumes that you have. This is under Beautifully Unapologetic. The BU Light, that's coming in spring 2022. The BU Freely, that's summer 2022. And then the BU Night, that's going to be in fall 2022. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Understood. And 10% of all the sales will be donated to Open Safe Houses, LLC, for domestic abuse survivors. So I want you to understand that this is not just another perfume on the shelf. This is for a worthy cause. And when we support causes like these, and these causes are in our communities and they're helping other people, of course, it just goes to make sure that people who need these resources, they're available. It's better to have these resources and not need them than to need them and not have them. And there's definitely a need right now. And so we really want to thank you so much for what you're doing, for your story, how you turned the trauma into triumph, and how you're moving and giving back to people who may need that hand to reach back, just like someone reached back to help you. Thank you so much for that. Now, again, how can people reach you if they needed to contact you and inquire about your services or purchase your book?
They can get the book on Amazon under Where I Want to Be. And it's not want to be, it's where I want to be, like Donald Jones' song. And look for look for Donald Jones, look for Monique Player. Well, it's just Miss Player on Amazon. It's a purple cover, and they have a suitcase on it, so that just gives you a good idea of someone, being displaced and trying to figure out where they want to be with that suitcase.
Right.
As far as reaching me, again, we could direct you to contact my PR person, which is Olivia, and she'll put you in contact with me and, let you know how to contact me from there until we get our website all up, and it have all the info on there as far as email and direct phone numbers and such like that.
Understood. Now, the phone number for Olivia Almagro, this is O Plus Media Group, LLC. It's 786-351-0299, 786-351-0299. This is O Plus Media Group, LLC. All right. Monique, thank you so much for coming on Let's Talk About It Live with Jeffery and Renee. We look forward to talking to you again in the near future about this line. We have to have you back when you're ready to launch the line, okay?
I can't wait. Thank you so much, and thank you everyone in your audience, and just remember that there is a mission behind the scent.
Absolutely, and we love it. Thank you so much, and you have a great day. Be well.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
You forgot to ask her where's the perfume going to be sold at.
I did ask her.
No, you didn't.
I didn't?
Nope.
My bad. Let me go back here and make sure everybody understands where they will be able to purchase the
she talked
perfume.
about the books, where you can purchase the books.
On Amazon.
Mm-hmm. The perfume is going to be on Amazon, too?
I don't think so. I think this is going to be a part of the website that they're going to launch.
Okay.
I think I did ask, and she said the website was coming up.
She did say the website would reach her. She said that there'll be a website coming out. You asked where could she be reached on social media, and she said that her.
I will make sure that I give that information before the show is over. I apologize about that, Monique. I thought I asked that question, and if it was an oversight, that's completely on me, and I apologize. All right. But a compelling story, isn't it?
It really is.
It's always awe-inspiring when you hear people's backgrounds, because some people you just never know what they've had to deal with to get to where they are. And it's just amazing when someone takes it and they make something powerful out of it. I always appreciate those types of stories. Looking forward to hearing more about her success in the perfume coming up very soon. All right. Now, there's something else going on. We were having a conversation about the actors, the foreign actors, playing these American characters. And you said you don't care. I care. Can't stand it. You know, there's a controversy around Insecure right now.
Mm-hmm.
The women of Alpha, Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated are incensed that one of the characters was wearing their paraphernalia and displaying their shield, and she is not a member of the organization.
And I think she actually made a statement in reference to that, saying she's not, but her character is.
Right. A character for 5 seasons.
Right.
Who's been an AKA for 5 seasons.
Yes, that's her character.
Why do you think they're mad now?
Well, I think that the sorority is mad because you can't act as a Greek member if you're not. There's laws set in place that you can't do that. You cannot misrepresent. Right, you misrepresentation.
Sure, that's the absolute truth.
That's the only reason they're upset.
Now, Molly, if I'm not mistaken, Molly is also an AKA, and she's been drinking out of an AKA mug
the whole time,
every season.
Right.
No problem.
No problem.
Why not?
But Molly is an AKA, right? Oh, so yeah, it's the same thing. No matter what, they can't misrepresent the culture or the sorority.
Let me back up.
I don't care if you're acting or not.
I don't know if Molly's an AKA or not. The young lady, Ori, I can't remember her name now because I'm trying to think of it. But I don't know if she's an AKA or not. She did go to Howard. She could be.
Okay.
I'll need to check that.
Okay.
But I do know she's been drinking out of an AKA mug all season. Now, Amanda Seales, when the controversy hit, she made a comment. If you know Amanda Seales, if you follow Amanda Seales, she got a mouthpiece on her. She gives 2 shits. She will bring the funk. She was very, very humble and say, I have nothing but respect for this organization. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I'm just playing a character. And I'm doing my best to represent the character well. Okay, I thought that was a respectful response.
It was.
They are really going after HBO right now.
That's who they should be, honestly. I mean, it's not, action. And they should, and they will win.
They will. They are taking legal action. Now, let's talk about some of the major sports leagues. Now, they do not play about their trademark. If you use their images under fair use, and it's not a negative portrayal, they usually won't bother you. Under fair use. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, the character that Amanda Seales plays hasn't been a negative character. She might have some snobbiness to her, but she hasn't really been a negative character, has she?
No, and it isn't about her character, though, right? It's more about you representing an organization that you're honestly not a member of. So it's not Amanda's fault. It's because, like you said, she's just playing the role. But it's HBO. You should have checked with the organization to find out what law you are, misrepresenting and breaking. You're breaking a law. I mean,
permission should have been granted.
Exactly. And if it wasn't, she don't need to be playing that character in that role, being a member of an organization that she's not. Because one, she's not representing the organization the way that the organization should be represented. One, there's things about the organization that only members of the organization know, and you're on here representing an organization that you're clearly not you know what I mean? This is a character.
Okay.
And that crosses the line. I think that is just like... you can play many roles. You can play attorneys and doctors all day long. They're not a member of an organization that has guidelines and bylaws.
Sure they are.
What, like, give me
the American Bar Association.
Absolutely, but anybody
the
can.
American Medical Association.
But that's not the same thing.
How is it not?
If I'm a doctor and I'm a lawyer and I'm acting as one, I'm not in the hospital doing the actual role of one. Right? So let's use, like, what was it? Grey's Anatomy.
Grey's Anatomy.
Okay, Grey's Anatomy.
None of those folks are doctors.
But they all playing doctors, right?
Right.
But we never see them in the actual role of doing what a doctor... They're not performing surgery.
Yes, they were.
No, they wasn't.
Yes, they were. They were in the operating room having conversations about how they were.
They did that, but were they physically? Did we ever?
No.
That's what I'm saying. We didn't see them do that.
Okay.
But we're seeing Amanda actually play the role of an AKA.
Okay.
She's implementing like she is. She's holding the paraphernalia.
She didn't step. She didn't. She didn't make the sound.
Yet.
She didn't do none of that. She said yet. Now they got another episode coming up
That's
tomorrow,
right.
and Issa Rae was like, "Uh-oh, we better delete the next episode."
Yeah, I think that just crossed the line.
Okay, I mean, now look, I got respect for everybody in Greek letter organizations. No disrespect intended. I'll give it to you like this. I understand you guys being protective of it. You know, don't get it twisted. I remember one rapper had on a Kappa jacket one day, like he didn't know no better, at a Hawks game.
Was it Lil Bootsy?
It might have been.
I remember. I think it was Lil Bootsy.
He had a damn Kappa jacket on.
They beat his.
That is different. He wasn't on the screen acting. He was at a game fronting. He knew what he did. It ain't no way that he did not know. Now, in this region, Kappas are big. In the Midwest, Kappas are huge. It's ridiculous how that's their area because, of course, they were founded on the University of Indiana or Indiana University, however you say it. But what I want to underscore is that I believe in the capacity that she was conducting her job. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I don't know that it's totally fair to come down on her in the way that they're coming down on her, because they're really coming at her like she just was wearing it down the street and not playing a role. And then there were some people that were defending her, and people were like, I can't believe I'm agreeing with Amanda Seales. You know, I'm agreeing with her. This is a role, not something she did to purposely smear or defame or anything like that. I see both sides of it. It is a role of a character on TV. And sometimes it seems that we get a little too, what's the right way I can put this? We get too caught up. I'm glad I thought about that. Great job, Brother Joe. We get a little too caught up. Now, let me ask you this question, Renee. Have you had to call 911 recently?
Wait, let me go back to what we was just talking about now.
All right.
If you actually think about, not yet. So if you actually think about it, how many shows do you see of anybody portraying any of the Divine Nine on TV?
On TV?
Mm-hmm, on TV.
Recently, very few.
I mean, let's go before recently, because I don't know if you recall that one moment Atlanta had a show. It was a reality show where these girls in Atlanta were representing. They were truly AKAs, Deltas. They were all of all Greek nature, and that show got cut immediately. One, because of the way they were representing themselves as well. But prior to that, you never seen Greek on TV in any, on any TV show where they were portraying themselves, unless it was, like what was the movie they did?
School Days.
Not just School Days, but the one where they had Columbus Short and on the yard. Yeah, but you notice they don't have AKA jackets. They represent it.
No, they were there.
They represent, but they don't say AKA. They have a different fraternity name. Go back and watch it. They're not Kappas and they're not Qs.
Yeah, they are.
Go back and watch the movie.
We'll go back and watch it.
Okay, go back, because they're not. They represent the colors, but they're not Omegas and they're not Kappas. Go back and watch it.
I remember in the step show scene seeing
they were doing this, remember?
Actually stepping. Well, no, not the main characters, the antagonists and protagonists. I'm talking about the actual Divine Nine organizations were also represented in that movie, because I remember the Q stepping in it. I remember seeing the Alphas, the AK. I remember seeing them.
Go back and watch it.
I'm gonna go back and watch it.
Because they represent them, but you don't see the.
I remember the letters.
Okay, let's go back and watch it.
Because here's the thing, from my understanding, with those organizations, when Spike Lee wanted to do School Days, they all said no.
They did.
You can't do this. So you got G5G and you got the other people. But in School Days, you did not see AKAs, Phi Beta Sigmas, Sigma Gamma. You didn't see none of that because when they saw the script, we're not giving you permission. So he did what he did.
That's right.
Okay. With the, I think it might have been College Hill or whatever it was, a show, reality show that was on, where they did have AKAs and Deltas, and they were like catfighting almost. the national organization was like, nah, cut this stuff
don't
off.
represent
You're
us.
not doing this to us. We don't play that. I remember there was a young lady who received an honorary AKA membership. And the young lady got on social media and went off, cussing, doing all this stuff. Boom, just literally went off, and they kicked her out of the organization. Like, hey, nope, that's not how we roll. The response from the national organization to the members was, don't make any comments. We will address this at a national level. And then they contacted HBO. Their attorneys contacted HBO, and now things are moving in the way that they're moving. Here's my point. At some point, these organizations, they do what they do to protect their intellectual property.
That's right.
And usually, as long as you represent them in a way that is not going to besmirch their character, misrepresent them, or anything like that, usually when you ask for permission, they're okay with it. Nobody from Insecure, nobody from HBO asked permission. It was never an issue until they saw her with that shield on her outfit. Never an issue. They asked the University of Stanford, can we film here? They did ask that, and they said, yeah. What I understand, Legally Blonde also wanted to film at Stanford. Stanford said no. They didn't like the premise of it. At that time, they didn't let anybody film or use Stanford's image. But now, I guess Issa Rae being an alum, they're like, hey, yeah, let's celebrate it. Different climate now. So all that to say, organizations have every right to protect their intellectual property. All you got to do is really just ask. And if you're going to do it the right way, they'll allow it. Oh, here's the thing. The iPhone. The iPhone cannot be used in a movie where the person is the villain. If you are the villain in the movie, you cannot use an iPhone on screen. Apple does not allow it at all. So if you're ever watching a movie and you think this person might be the killer, if they're using an iPhone on screen, they are not the killer. I'm dead ass serious. You can look this up yourself. Google is your friend. But the bottom line of it is, some brands are that serious about protecting their brand.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, would you consider yourself an old school parent?
They say, I don't today. I would say I have been up until this last year.
Because they're older now, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Same here. My kids are, 20-something and 20-something. My granddaughter's turning 5. Turning 5 soon. But old school parents, old school parenting is still needed. Now, y'all see all the nice pictures I post of my little muffin and the fun videos. Don't get it twisted. When she does a little something that she ain't supposed to do, the granddad voice get real deep, project a whole lot, because there's a whole conversation happening right now. And when she hears that voice, she straightens up. You make that. I give the damn. I bet she know if I call her like this on the phone, she gonna stop doing whatever she thinks she's doing because she thinks she's in trouble. But old school parents are still needed. So I got this clip that's just really demonstrative of how effective parenting could look. I want to roll this clip and come back and talk about it. Go ahead and roll that clip.
Oh, sweetie, we already have cereal.
Not this kind.
Okay, well, we don't need this.
But I want it.
Don't say that back to your Aunt Wanda. You put the cereal back where you found it.
Oh,
you get your punk ass up.
Drop them bowls on. I ain't even mad at that. Did you ever drop them bowls?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Old school parenting. It's necessary. I got one last clip, even though I ain't got no hair no more. You know, we had Greg on a couple of weeks. The barbershop is a tradition for black men. Now, I went and got my beard shaped up. I didn't want the barber to give me the chin strap. He gave me the chin strap anyway. Trying to grow it back out now. But when your barber is on point, he's just a master craftsman. And so I want y'all to see how serious some barbers take what they do. I mean, it's serious business.
Okay.
They ain't playing. Go ahead and roll this clip. Black barbers are dope. I love it. I love it. He got to go outside and look at that lineup. Come on now. You know that was dope.
Even the kid, like.
But look, you saw how flat that flat top was. It was flat as hell. Flat as some people think the earth is. Look. All right, y'all, look. I'm going to bring it back around because I want y'all to understand me. We talked about our black women, the problem. I'm going to submit this to you. My answer ultimately is no, black women are not the problem. Black men ain't the problem either. The lack of communication between black men and black women is the problem, of course. That's a two-way street. Some of us don't know how to talk. Some of us don't know how to listen. The bottom line of it is, when we decide to stop focusing on the crabs in the barrel, and we start wondering, why in the hell are we in a barrel anyway? That's not our natural environment. Who put us in the damn barrel? Who basically told black women that all this stuff that you need to feel that way? What about that messaging that's been just shoved down black women's throats? And what about the counter message that's been delivered to black men? Where do those things come from? Why do they talk to us like this? Why are our marriage rates so low? Why? Why are our single households so low? Don't sit there and tell me that we can't look at that. We can't worry about what happened back in the day. We ain't even looking back in the day anymore. We can look at yesterday. We can look at this week at the Ahmaud Arbery trial. I'm sorry, the murder trial for the men who killed Ahmaud Arbery. How many black jurors are on that jury?
1.
11 whites and 1. The judge even said, hey, I believe that this could be discriminatory, but my legal hands are tied, because they actually excused those jurors, potential jurors, for reasons. They have reasons. But we ain't stupid. If 25%, it might be 29% of the population in Brunswick is black, you should have more than 1 juror. They're doing this out in public. The trial of Kyle Rittenhouse in Wisconsin. He shot 3 people and killed 2 of them. He went there. He left his home in another city, drove there with the gun, and said he was protecting businesses from looters. He was protecting it. It wasn't his business. It wasn't even his town. He ended up shooting 3 people and killing 2 of them. And I've been watching this, and the legal standard for self-defense, one of them is fleeing. Did you try to flee the situation? And Kyle Rittenhouse ran his ass away. So he met one legal standard already for using self-defense. Another one, was there a reasonable, articulable, would a reasonable person act the same way? Now, he was on the ground and somebody was beating him. He had a gun. Would a reasonable person pull the trigger? The third thing was, this is the third person he shot. Did he fear for his life? One person ran up and tried to kick the gun out of his hand. Another person ran up and they had a gun. They had a skateboard and one person had a gun. Did he feel, or did he meet the threat proportionately? Now, damn it, based on the law in Wisconsin, I would not be surprised if he was found not guilty.
Me either.
They got to look at each one individually. I would not be surprised if he was found not guilty. Forget the fact that he went there from a different place. He was underage. I don't know if he was old enough to even have a rifle of that, or a gun of that. It was a rifle of that magnitude at that time. However, that's neither here nor there. I just want us to remember that we have too much at stake to still be worrying about crabs in the barrel and not focusing on how in the hell did we get in the barrel. Listen, we do this every Saturday from 6 o'clock p.m. to 8 o'clock p.m. right here on Status Network. Now, on Manifest TV, powered by the Status Network. I need you to follow us on all social media. Instagram is manifesttv.status. Facebook is Status Network LLC. Periscope is status_network_. Twitter is status_network_. We're on the Amazon Fire Stick and Roku as Status Network and Manifest TV. On YouTube, we are Manifest TV. Renee, how can people follow you on social media?
You can follow me at Pretty Eyes, and that's 3 eyes, so PRETIIIZ.
It's 3 eyes. Don't
eyes.
forget that now. And one of them is the pineal gland right there, for the inner sight. Don't act like y'all don't know Renee is deep. Your boy Joe, he was the producer today. He put it down. He kept up with us, and he kept everything running smoothly. Great job, brother. Yannette, I don't know. You might be my office girlfriend again. I don't know. Depends on how you treat me later. I'm playing. I'm just making that up. Jack Trey, he pays all the bills. You can find me all over social media as Talk with Jeffery, Jeffery, on all social media platforms except for Snapchat. I'm still not snapping. I'm still not chatting. I'm still too old for that. This has been a whole lot of fun. We enjoyed it, but
we are out.
And there you have it. Thanks for joining us on Let's Talk About It Live with Jeffery and Renee. Watching is the best decision you'll ever make. And make sure you join us next Saturday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. only on www.statusnetwork.net. Jeffery.